You're watching live coverage from the CBT News Stage at the 2024 NADA Show in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Hey, we are live at the 2024 NADA convention in Las Vegas, and we're at the end of day one. We're almost at the end of day one, and we're joined by Dave Cantin, who's the CEO of the Dave Cantin Group, and Paul Mumma, who's the partner at Kaiser and Associates. We got a little bit of competition, gentlemen, but these mics are great, so keep going. So,
okay.
Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Jim, and we appreciate you taking the time out for us today. It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely. So the reason I wanted to call you guys in here, and thank you so much for coming in, is you guys have just launched, and in fact, you've launched all over, including CBT News, the DCG Market Outlook Report, which is a very comprehensive report about things that are going on in the industry right now. And you've touched on about 7 different categories, right? So, Paul, if you wouldn't mind, because I know you're from that company that helped put this report together, walk us through those different categories.
Sure. So, Kaiser Associates, our whole goal is to look across the market, whether that's auto industry or other markets, and figure out what matters, what's driving trends.
Sure.
And when we're looking at this year, our view was, if over the last couple years you had tried to predict what was going to happen in the auto space, good luck.
That's right, tough.
Unless you
that
had
would be tough.
data
right.
to guide you. And so what our team did is we spent about 3 weeks going deep across the whole market, manufacturers, supply chain, dealers, and consumers to try to figure out what's going to matter. What do you look at if you're a dealer and you're thinking about the year ahead?
Right.
And we came to 7 themes. 2 of them are external.
Okay.
Macroeconomic conditions. Seems good. It's actually going to be complicated good.
Okay.
Political. We got an election this year, and there's going to be a lot of uncertainty that we think you can gauge one way or the other depending on who wins.
That's right.
We got industry themes. The reality is, manufacturers, they're in the driver's seat. They can call a lot of the shots.
Okay.
But if you're thinking about the consumer side, consumers have had some pretty clear preferences that have taken a while to come into play.
Yeah.
But now they're driving what manufacturers are doing and what dealers got to respond to.
Sure.
For dealers, it's back to the grind.
Yeah.
It's going to be a busy year. It's going to be a good year. It's going to be back to the grind.
Right.
And then we have these 2 kind of wild cards. One of them is EVs.
Okay.
Everyone is talking about them for good reason. We think it's the most volatile year for EVs, hybrids in history, especially in the U.S. And then finally, where Dave is the true expert, we have the M&A climate, which we think is going to be very interesting, and we see some pretty interesting signals this year.
Very good. Dave, why launch a report like this that's on all of these other areas outside of M&A?
Yeah, Jim, great question. We couldn't find data like this anywhere that focuses on the automotive industry that's real time.
Yeah.
We don't just represent the buy-sell acquisitions in the industry. We also want to strategically advise our clients.
Okay.
And it's so important that we have the proper data to help them operate their business, whether they're divesting, investing in new acquisitions, or just operating day to day. And what we found by doing all the research we can on these 7 topics and more was there's nothing in real time.
Right.
So what we immediately did to try to gauge for 2024 was go out there and partner with Kaiser Associates to create this significant 60-page market study that is going to allow our clients, the entire industry, OEM executives, manufacturers, consumers, dealers, to better understand what to expect based upon significant data.
Yeah, for sure. How long does a report like this take to put together? And then where are you referencing the information from?
Good question. So first, historically, reports like this, they tend to come together over a couple months, a quarter or 2. That's interesting, but it means by the time they hit the shelf, they're out of date.
Right.
So what we try to do is compress to the smallest window possible what it took to do the research. Did it end to end all in the month of January, about 3 weeks. And in terms of sources, we were lucky. We had industry giants across the chain.
Right.
Great dealerships, Joe Serra, the Serra Group.
Yeah, of course.
Attorneys, advisors. We had OEMs and supply chain willing to kind of speak to us. We ran a consumer survey, getting a representative U.S. household view of what they think about, what they care about when it comes to their next car purchase. All that within 3 weeks in the month of January.
Wow, that's fantastic.
And to be lucky enough to have the largest automotive groups and the most influential merger and acquisition attorneys, state dealer associations participate in this because they know there is kind of now a new normal.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for it. and it's finally here. And now it's not just to sit back and figure out how to operate, it's to be proactive.
Sure.
It's to understand how we could look at the things that are most critical,
Right.
most important to run our business day to day, and to be forecasting the future of the business.
Yeah,
because it's hard to forecast when we don't know what to expect.
Right.
Well, the good news is I think we finally know what to expect,
Sure,
right?
sure.
Gross margins are down. We now think and believe that, that sales are going to be pretty consistent with 2023.
Sure.
Okay, but margins are going to be less. Profits will be less.
That's right.
So where is the room for dealers to grow? How do they obtain that financial loss that they had in 21 through 23? We call it the COVID profits.
Yeah.
Where are there areas for them to focus on?
Sure.
And as Paul said, there's so many things going on that we need to focus on in order to properly operate our business. So we're so incredibly excited. In a short 24 hours of getting this out there, the response has been remarkable.
That's fantastic.
We're realizing how much people need data.
Right.
How important this is
Especially
in any
now.
business.
Especially now.
More now than ever.
Yeah.
And more than data, but real-time data.
That's right.
Data that allows them to immediately take back to their teams
Sure.
and put it to work. We're thrilled to have names, as Paul said, Joe Serra, Ken Garf Automotive Group, Brett Hopkins, president, participated, Michael Brown, Empire Automotive Group, Stephen Dietrich, some incredible people that are so meaningful to the industry that understand how important it is to help everyone in the space.
How often do you foresee a report like this coming out from your company?
It's now that we're seeing how impactful it is and how meaningful it is, we want to do this at minimum twice a year, up to 4 times a year.
Okay.
The relationship with Kaiser has been outstanding. Paul and his team are absolutely remarkable to work for.
Yeah.
And we know that we can't create this data. We need to partner with a Kaiser Associates who has the resources, the tools, the experience to be able to retrieve the data and proper market studies to deliver something as incredible as what we just did to the industry 24 hours ago.
Sure. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't ask this question of one of the leading M&A companies out there, okay? And the report is great, and it's very comprehensive, and I highly recommend that you guys get this report in your hand. In fact, we're going to make it available on our homepage at cbtnews.com. But the question dealers want to know, is this a good time to sell a dealership?
Everyone asks me that every day. When's the best time to buy? When's the best time to sell, right? It's really up to you, right? It depends where you're at in your career.
Okay.
I don't look at any one cycle as the ultimate time to exit or grow.
Right.
It comes down to succession planning.
Okay.
People hear the word succession planning, they immediately think it's exit, but it's not.
Okay.
Succession planning is setting your organization up for the success of the future.
Yeah.
And protecting the legacy of all the assets that automotive group has.
Sure.
So when we talk about, is it a good time to sell? Well, you're going to recoup some incredible profits. So that's the obvious.
Yeah.
What's also going to happen is you're going to understand that if it's your time, it's your time, right?
Right.
The perfect storm over the last few years has been buyers that have created significant cash because of incredible profits that want to reinvest it in the automotive space.
Right.
One of the things that we're thrilled by is witnessing these automotive groups continuing to reinvest back in the automotive industry.
Yeah.
Not just take their profits and put it into the bank.
Yeah.
Not just take their profits and buy everything they want to buy. They want to grow.
Yeah.
Right? So, I think what we are going to see is there will be a heavy focus on consolidation.
Yeah.
It will continue through 24. And when I say perfect storm, it's a great time if you are thinking to exit.
Yeah.
And it's a great time if you want to grow.
Yeah.
Because, the opportunity for any industry to grow is when the industry finally gets normalized.
Right.
We are normalized.
Right.
So now there's no more, well, what's the crystal ball going to say?
Yeah.
We kind of think we know where we're at, right? Not as good as 21, 22, better than 19. The future's still going to grow.
Sure.
And, the idea of brick and mortar going away is not happening.
No, it's not. It's not. It really isn't. There's no question about it. The franchise system is alive and well for a very long period of time, and I've done many shows on that topic. And myself, I have myself been very maybe critical of the OEMs and said, hey, they're coming in, they're coming after your dealerships. But as I look at it now and I see the last 6 months, a year, 2 years, really what's clear is that the franchise system is very, very healthy. Right?
And it's so interesting. One of the things we tried to look at is from the perspective of the guy who's going to buy the car.
Yeah.
What does he want? How does he want to shop? And it's so interesting. The data shows even if there is somewhat increasing interest in looking at information online, thinking about what could be out there online, where people want to go to buy is to a dealer that they trust, that they think is the place to look, try, test drive,
Sure.
and ultimately buy with confidence. And the data tells the same thing that you know from your experience.
That's right. That's right. And we could probably, tell that to the owners of Zoom or Vroom, rather,
Vroom,
right?
yeah.
Because you look at Vroom and it's like, what happened? What happened was the consumer didn't buy it that long.
That's right. And I'm hearing all day today, which is just, it really validates the time that we put together in creating this, which was significant over the past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And what I'm hearing from the publicly traded companies, the privates, is this has been needed for so long.
Yeah.
This is this 60-page document, and again, we're not selling it. There's no charge.
Right.
This 60-page document is something that the industry has been thriving for. And I'm so happy that we have been able to deliver it.
Sure.
Anyone who wants to talk about what's going on in the industry, look at this place, Jim.
Yeah.
It's packed.
Exactly.
I mean, come on.
And there's
a
lot of happy dealers here.
There's a lot. I
That's
see
right.
smiles all over the place.
That's right. That's right.
This
That's
is
right.
absolutely, the industry is driving. One way or another, it's great.
I attended the J.D. Power Summit yesterday, heard the economists speak, and it was incredible. They said, the profits are up. However, they're going to be coming back down again. However, they're still 30% higher than they were in 2019.
Yeah.
So, we got spoiled in the industry over the last 4 years, right? Yeah.
We got spoiled, but again, if things are coming back to a new normal, we see signal. This looks like it's going to be a good year.
Yeah.
You ask the consumer,
Yeah.
what's your level of interest in buying a car?
Yeah.
And they say, got a lot of interest, and why?
That's right.
Something like 25% of U.S. consumers have held back on at least one car purchase over the
Wow.
last 2 years.
Wow.
Due to rates, due to everything else.
Sure.
And the mood is shifting, and that is going to equal, at a minimum, continued, if not increasing demand. And demand is a good thing for everybody in the industry.
Yep. Was there anything that came out of the report that shocked you that you said, wow, I didn't see that one coming in terms of numbers or facts or figures?
I think there was things on both ends of this. There were things that we kind of knew and maybe didn't realize how exciting it was.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there are different topics that you kind of look at, and you kind of look at the different scenarios that the data provides. And data doesn't lie. It's real, right?
That's
so
right.
you can't hide behind the data. And you look at it and go, wow, we were at a, hypothetically speaking, 8% gross margin in 19. It goes to a 22. And then, what happened over the last 12 months was it fell pretty quickly. And, everyone over the past 2 years has been waiting for that fall.
Yeah.
Once it falls, it's kind of the rebound effect, right?
Yeah.
Everyone just needs to kind of own it, understand it. But what data does is it helps you get through it and break the barriers faster.
Right.
It helps you be proactive and plan to be able to adjust quicker.
Yep.
And in any business, in any industry, the best thing you want to do is not be able to just, kind of rebound from the great times, because when everything's great, there's not much you need to do but just keep operating your business.
That's right.
When things go the other way, it's those that are proactive, those that utilize every resource at their disposal to quickly rebound and figure out new ways to get back to where they need to be.
No question about it. Record year last year for Dave Cantin Group?
Yeah, Dave Cantin Group had a phenomenal 2023, a lot of carryover into 24.
Okay.
It's busy. Look, the way we're going today, I think 24 will be just as good, if not better than 23.
Yeah.
There's a lot of opportunity out there, a lot of dealers that, like anybody else, sat on the sideline, earned a lot of money, didn't want to exit from those historical profits, and now are coming back to the market considering to exit. And there's also a lot of buyers that are continuing to do very well, better than 19, have a lot of cash, and want to put that money back in.
Right.
So they want to buy stores. I mean, our phone rings every day. What do you have for sale? What's happening?
What's the number one franchise requested?
Oh, gosh. Toyota.
Toyota.
Right? Who doesn't
say
we,
Toyota?
We
Who
talk
doesn't
about,
want a Toyota store?
We talk about dealerships all the time and how we view them at Dave Cantin Group. It's an asset.
Yeah.
Right? So there's assets. There's blue chip assets. Toyota is always considered a blue chip asset, a long-term investment. You're never going to get hurt with a Toyota store.
That's right.
And,
That's right.
what do we see for 24? We see a similar 24 versus 23, but we also see greater opportunity for consolidation along like the middle of the pack.
Okay.
Right? The dealers, maybe if there's, if you have 6 to 12 stores, the opportunity for them to grow.
Yeah.
The opportunity for them to really expand in their marketplace.
Yeah.
So we're excited. 24 is going to be great. And we're excited to be back here in Las Vegas at NADA.
Yep.
We're excited to be here with you at CBT News.
We're excited to have you.
We're even more excited to really Kaiser Associates and Dave Cantin Group to launch our DCG Market Outlook Report. And if you haven't had a chance to download it yet, there's many places to get it. DaveCantinGroup.com. You'll see it right on our homepage. CBT News on
right.
the homepage.
That's right.
And many other areas.
That's right. I'm going to leave it right there. Dave Cantin, CEO of the Dave Cantin Group, and Paul Mumma, partner at Kaiser and Associates. These are companies that are doing great work for dealers all over North America. Get the report, get it in your hands. I just took a look at it. It is very, very comprehensive, very impressive. You're not going to want to run your dealership without it. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
Jim, thank you so much. We
us.
appreciate you.
Great.
Have a great
Thanks.
one.
You too. Thanks, man.
Thanks for watching the live coverage from the CBT News Stage at the 2024 NADA Show.